Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make this huge wooden mansion. I've been making a lot of mansions recently, and a lot of you guys have been suggesting that I should make a wooden one, and I have finally delivered. I think that this house is really nice. It has a nice mix between a more traditional and a more modern blend, and it comes together in one. If you enjoy videos like this, please do remember to smack that like button. It helps me out a lot, and honestly, I will say that it probably won't get you a speedboat if you do like the video, but it will definitely get my admiration if you do smack that like button. It really helps me out, helps the channel out, and it just makes me ever so slightly happier. So if you wouldn't mind doing that for me, I would really appreciate it. By the way, if you do like the video, please do subscribe to the channel. You'll probably enjoy the content. If you subscribe, say hello down there in the comment section. I do try my best. I can only try my best to say hello to everybody that does say hello in the comments, and also click the little bell next to the subscription button, and that will ensure that you get every single one of my videos sent directly to your sub box, because otherwise it may or may not happen. You never know with these sub boxes. They're a little bit crazy, and I'm sure that you guys want to see the videos. Well, you've seen the entirety of the outside of the mansion. As you can see, I haven't really done too much to the grounds of the mansion. I'm letting the building speak for itself. And if we take a look inside, it's a very simple layout. The tower that is on the left-hand side of the mansion takes you to every single one of the floors. It will take you all the way to the top. And every single floor also has a conjoining floor in which you can place all sorts of your various goodies around. We also have a lot of balconies. You can see that we have a long balcony here, which connects us to the left-hand side and the right-hand side of the house. We have another walkway in which we can walk up here onto the second largest balcony of the house. And everywhere is just very connected. Like, we can walk through one passageway up one set of stairs, and we can easily just find ourselves in another part of the mansion. Everywhere is very well connected. Everywhere just flows together very nicely. And I hope that you guys enjoy the design. I think I should probably be quiet now, and I should show you how to make this thing. So if you want to make it, here's what you'll need. Grab yourself some spruce wood, some oak wood planks, some white stained glass paint, some dark oak wood stairs, some dark oak wood slabs, some oak wood fence, and some spruce wood fence. Now, we might add a few more materials later on. It kind of depends how we feel, guys. We might add some, we might not. It depends whether we want to mix things up a bit, but these are the primary materials. Now, once you have these, and once you've figured out where you want to make it, I'll let you know that this house, as big as it is, will fit into a 26 block by 21 block area. That's 26 blocks coming across the front and 21 blocks going towards the back. Now, the house is very big, however, it builds upwards rather than outwards. So, for those of you that don't have that much room on the ground, you'll probably love this one. Now, if you want to construct this rectangle that I have on the ground, then feel free. And for those of you that do, you want to start on the very front right-hand corner of your rectangle, which is here, and you want to move back and you want to find the 9th block in. So this is the first block that we're on, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. You want to move in left by 1, and you want to begin this build with a row of 21 spruce wood. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. From that 21st block, you want to move backwards by 12. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Take that 12th block, extend it all the way down to the ground, like that. You then want to connect that block that hits the ground all the way to the front of your shape. So you want a big giant rectangle like that. What we now want to do is this. So, inside of this rectangular shape that we have, we want to take this very long row of 21 that we placed, and we want to, starting from this on top of this second spruce wood coming in, we want to do this sequence of blocks coming up. We want to do 3 oak wood, 1, 2, 3, then 1 spruce. 3 oak wood, 1, 2, 3, 1 spruce. 3 oak wood, 1, 2, 3, 1 spruce. 3 oak wood, 1, 2, 3, 1 spruce, and then 1, 2, 3 oak wood, like that. So you want to have that pattern. You can then take each one of these spruce woods and you can extend them backwards. So you can extend every single one of those spruce woods backwards towards the back of the house. Not only does this kind of form a nice little bit of a pattern in this particular side of the house, but it will also help us, it will let us know where to place other key features of the house. So what we now want to do is we want to add another row of oak wood planks inside of this row of oak wood planks that we just placed. Then place a row of glass. So you can use either white stained glass pane or regular glass. I built the original using regular glass just because it's a bit easier, but you can do either. Then you want to do 5 rows of oak wood planks going towards the back. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you can just extend that bottom row backwards if you like. You can form it into a shape, however you want to fill in all of these rows of oak wood. That is completely up to you. But the next 5 rows from top to bottom do want to be 5 rows of oak wood planks. Then we'll do another glass, and then we will then just finish filling in the rest of it with oak wood. So once these are all done, we will, as I said, move on, and we will just add in the little bit of glass that will be left, and then all of the oak wood. Very tedious this is, but here we go. Then, once we've done our 5 rows, we want to add in yet another layer of glass, as you can see me doing here. Very, very fun. And then we want to add in all of the other rows of oak wood, which will completely fill in this shape that we have left here. So, of course, we only have 2 rows left. Very, very simple indeed. And there we go. So we want to have this on this side of the house. It's a bit boring. Here's how we make it look a little bit more interesting. So, where we have the rows of glass coming upwards, inside of those rows, so where we have these rows of oak wood connecting to them, we want to have rows of spruce wood on the outer part of the build, just 1 row inwards. So 1 row inwards on the outer part of the build, we want to add 2 rows of spruce wood. That will make this part of the build just look a little bit more interesting like that. Now, once that's done, we can make our way to the front of the build. So come to the front of this thing. What we now want to do is this. So we want to come all the way to the bottom first of all. We want to come to the bottom and we want to find the 3rd spruce wood coming in from the bottom. So that's the 1st, 2nd, that's the 3rd spruce wood, right? We want to take this spruce wood and we want to extend it across by 9. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like that. So we want to take this 8th block and we want to extend it forwards by 2 with the spruce wood. That's 1 and 2. Take that 2nd spruce wood and extend it as high up as we have previously with any of the other spruce wood. So you want to make it as tall as we have on the right of us. Now, we want to take this row of spruce wood that we've just placed, and behind it, we want to form a pattern. And it's the same pattern that we have just over there. So it's 3 oak wood to every spruce wood. So like on top of this 1st spruce wood block in this row of 2, you want to do 1, 2, 3 oak, 1 spruce, 3 oak, 1 spruce, 3 oak, 1 spruce, 3 oak, 1 spruce, 3 oak, 1 spruce. Behind that, it actually doesn't matter what you place because you won't see it. So you can just do an entire row of oak wood if you prefer. Then going left of this, you want to have the same sort of pattern. So on top of this 9th block, you want to have the same pattern that you have just to the right of you. So you want to have the 3 oak wood to every spruce that you place like this. So you can see that the pattern kind of like follows around like that. Well, what we now want to do, now that we have this, is we want to take this 8th block once again, so not the end one, the one just before it, and we want to extend this block backwards, and it wants to come back as far as any of the other spruce wood has before it. So when we did that row of 12 earlier, it wants to come back as far as the back of the build. We then want to extend that block upwards, the very last one that we placed, and it wants to become as high as all of the other spruce wood that we placed before. You can then connect the front of the build to the back of the build using spruce wood, like this. What we now want to do is we want to connect the back together. So behind this row of spruce wood that we've just placed, you want to form, once again, the same sort of pattern that we've been doing all along. So just behind this row, we want to do 3 oak wood, 1 spruce, 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 3 oak wood. There we go, we should hit the top. Now, once you've done that once, you actually want to do that very quickly once again. Now, this isn't 100% important for the outside of the build, but from the inside you'll be able to see this and it will look a little bit nicer. Now, once you've got that sorted out, we're now going to connect the actual back part together. So, take the last row that you were working on and take the block of spruce right at the bottom of the row, which is this block right here, and you want to connect this going from left to right using a row of spruce like this. So you've connected the back together now. Now, we want to, on top of the left hand and right hand spruce wood blocks, add a row of oak wood planks coming from the top to the bottom. That's on the left and the right like this. Then add a row of glass next to the rows of oak. Now, I will warn you that this glass may very possibly interfere ever so slightly later on with like stairs and stuff, but it's completely up to you whether you want to place it or not. Then we want to place rows of spruce wood still coming inside of what we've made. So place rows of spruce wood coming 1 row further in like this. Then place a row of oak wood planks. Once again, just 1 row further in, and this row so happens to be the very center. Take the rows of spruce wood that you placed and extend them outwards by 1 row each. So extend each one of these spruce woods outwards by 1 row each. This will create an additional layer of depth to the project, and it will look ever so slightly nicer, like that. Looks very good. Now, once you've sorted that out, this is what we're going to do next. So, you may remember this last row of oak wood planks, spruce wood, oak wood planks, spruce wood that we placed, right? Well, next to this row, we want to place another row of the same. So, we want to place another row of literally exactly that. So, it's like to the right of it, coming across the build, we want to have the exact same thing. Later on, this will connect very nicely together to the opposite part of the build, so we'll have something which should look like that. Now, in regards to the front of this build, we should now connect the front together. Now, once you've got all of the other sides taken care of, you come to the front, and this is what you do. On top of this row of spruce wood that we have, right at the bottom, on the left and right hand blocks, we want to place a row of oak wood planks coming from top to bottom, like this. And it's also possible that I don't know whether I want to keep this in, although it doesn't make that much of a difference. Can you see where we have the first row of spruce wood that kind of like cuts straight through the build? Also have that present coming across the front of the build also. So if that makes sense, like just have this little bottom section be spruce wood, like going from left to right. Then do a row of glass inside of the wood, like this. So just do a row of glass inside of the oak wood, top to bottom. Then do a row of spruce wood on the row inside of the glass either side. So like this, do a row of spruce wood left and right coming towards the center. Whoops, there we go. Coming towards the center like that. Then do a row of oak wood planks coming all the way up in between them. You can see that this pattern is very, very similar to the pattern that we have on the back. Then extend the spruce wood rows forwards by 1 row. So extend the spruce wood rows forward by 1 row, like this. And again, very reminiscent of what we did on the back of the build. And that is the sort of tower that we're going to want to have right now. That's exactly what we want to have. No more, no less than that. Now, once you've got the tower, we can now expand the house a little bit. So, next thing we're going to do is, if we come all the way down to the bottom front of the build, we want to take this spruce wood that you can see right here, It's this exact one. It's the one that pokes out the furthest on the left. This one. You want to extend this block to the left by 2 with your spruce wood. Actually, yeah, by 2 with your spruce wood, that is. 1 and 2. Then, as if you're looking down at the ground, do a bottom left diagonal from that spruce wood, and then extend it towards you by 1. Then do 3 bottom left diagonals. So that'll be 1, 2, and 3. Take that third bottom left diagonal and extend it to the left by 4. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then do 3 up left diagonals. So that's 1, 2, 3. And extend that third up left diagonal upwards by 2. 1, 2. Then do another up left diagonal. And then extend that diagonal upwards by 9. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Like that. We then want to take this 9th block and we want to extend this over to the left using your spruce wood, and it should connect. I told you it'd connect. It should connect to where we were working on earlier. So we want to have a shape. Can I show it you? We want to have a shape that should look like that. Very, very simple. Now, once you've got that sorted out, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we are going to do next. And we may have to... No, I won't confuse anything. So what we now want to do is this, right? So we want to take every single one of these spruce wood blocks that we've just placed, and we want to add 3 rows of oak wood planks on top. So it'll look like this. 1, 2, and 3, like that. And it wants to go on top of every single one of the spruce wood. So oak wood planks for everybody. It's like we're Oprah. So oak wood planks for every single one of these spruce woods. We want 3 rows on top. And this is going to build the sort of wider area of the house. So this is going to build up the wider area of the house on the left. And this is where this house is going to start gaining a lot of shape. So we're just going to add all of these. And then once we have the base structure of the house in place, because it's very important that we get the base structure of the house in place. And by the way, once you've done your 3 rows of oak wood, add a layer of spruce on top of it. So it's very important that we get the base structure in place, because that will allow us to then start adding detail without things getting very, very confusing. So on top of the oak wood planks, do remember it's a layer of spruce. However, this is where things get ever so slightly tricky now. So what we now want to do is we want to take this left-hand row of spruce wood in this row of 5 that we have on the front, right here, yeah? We want to go up on top of this spruce wood, and we want to go up by 4. So that will look like 1, 2, 3, and 4, like this. You then want to go to the right of that also by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Connect that down. Also, by the way, you can knock down through these rows of oak wood planks and you can place spruce wood inside of them to form kind of like the number 8. So what we now want to do, on the left hand side of the number 8, we want to add 1, 2, 3 more rows of oak wood planks everywhere. So on the left hand side of number 8, add 3 rows of oak wood planks everywhere. On the right hand side of the number 8, we are going to have to figure out all of the very small bits of detail that we're going to have to place before we can kind of really like bump up the rest of the area. So just focus on this right hand side for now, and then we will figure out the left hand side very, very shortly after. So you can see we're adding all of the oak wood and the spruce, and we just want to have something which should look like this. And the reason that the right hand part is just ever so slightly different is because we do have like a staircase and we have stuff embedded in it. So what we can do is this. So can you see this spruce wood here? Or better yet, this is better. Take the top right hand corner of the number 8, this one right here, and extend it backwards by 1. Then extend it right by 1. Then extend it backwards by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then connect it to the very right hand part of the house. You'll end up with a shape that should look like that, right? Now, we have to fill in this area here. So we're going to place just right at the number 8, we want to have a row of oak wood planks. We can then extend this row backwards, like this, and then we can connect it here. So we kind of want to form, it looks like a very flat shape like this. So you want to just, underneath the spruce wood, essentially, that you've just placed, you just want to connect it down using your oak wood plank. So you want to form 2 walls. You can also fill in this area here, which is an area where people could actually like fall through and stuff. So that's going to be part of the balcony, like this. I think that we will actually leave that little bit there now, but it might be beneficial for us to actually install a floor here. So here on the right hand side, I'm just going to place, here on the left hand side I should say, it's the left hand side, isn't it, this left hand side, I'm just going to add a floor of oak wood planks. Now this is oak wood because I think that the balcony looks very, very nice as oak wood. However, you can have it whatever material you want. A lot of this floor is going to be exposed later on, but it's just easier if we have this already added in, because this is going to be like where a large portion of this house sits. I'll show you this in a second once we've added in this floor, and we may also add, you know what, we'll add a little bit of detail before anything. I'll tell you what, we'll add a bit of detail like this. So we want to have something which should look like that, right? That's perfect. Now, what we're going to do is, you know where we have the number 8? So, the top part of the number 8, I'm going to fill most of it in with oak wood planks. However, I am going to leave a 2-block space in which people can actually move in and out. That's because the upper part of the number 8 and the lower part of the number 8 is 2 very small balconies. So, now we just have to form balconies around this. So, on the bottom here, I'm just going to add a row of 2 spruce wood coming up from the bottom of the number 8. Like this, and I'm also going to add like a little bit of a lip that people can walk around on just outside of the balcony like this. So it's going to be formed using upside down dark oak wood stairs with dark oak wood planks in between. Then I'm going to place white stained glass pane coming outwards, and I might also fill the bottom of this in using dark oak wood slabs. So you can see it's just a little bit of a lip for the balcony like this. I'm also going to create another one of these. So, right where the middle portion of the number 8 is, I'm going to take the 2 middle blocks, I'm going to extend them outwards, each by 1 with the spruce wood. Then I'm going to place the upside down dark oak wood stairs. Then I'm going to fill in the middle of it with dark oak wood slabs. And then I'm going to use white stained glass pane to fill most of this in. I am, however, going to leave a gap of 1 here because when we place the balcony to the right of us, which we are getting very, very close to placing, then that will mean that we are better connected. And you know what? We can actually place the balcony now, if you like. So the balcony works like this. The balcony wants to begin all the way here on the right-hand side. So it wants to begin on the right-hand side, and it wants to be in line with, like, all of the other balconies. So like where the row of spruce wood is that like cuts through the entire build horizontally, wants to start on the right here. And I'm going to make this by using dark oak wood slabs, and I'm just going to use like a jagged row of dark oak wood slabs, right, starting from the right, and it's going to come outwards like this, and it wants to line up with the left hand side of the build where we have that balcony, so like this. And it wants to line up with the outside of the build, and then I want to connect it all the way over to the left like that. So we want a nice jagged line, and then we can actually place a row of white stained glass pane on top of the dark oak wood slabs, and that will just mean that everywhere's better connected. We now have a balcony, and everybody's happier because of it. And I think I'm going to use, not that it matters, I think that I'll use dark oak wood slabs, not dark oak wood anything. I'm going to use oak wood slabs, and I'm going to fill the top of this in. So once we fill this in, we can then discuss whether we want to add any walkways and stuff. And actually, no, we'll actually leave that until later, and I'll tell you why. So we do have a couple of walkways that, like, on the balcony that connect different parts of the house together. It's going to be better if we place those later, because we do have a large portion of this house, a lot of the build, a lot of what gives this build its shape left to do. So we want to have something which should look like this, but you can see that we are gradually getting very, very close to the end goal. So what a lot of this build is missing is this. So let me show you. So if we come to the very left hand side of the build here, where we have this long flat row, right? And we want to take this long flat row and we want to do this to it. So we want to take this first block coming in from the left, so this one, and we want to place 2 spruce wood coming out from this block, so that's 1 and 2. We want to come to the right hand side and we want to find the third block coming in, so that's the first block, second block, third block, and we want to take this bottom spruce and we want to extend this outwards to the left by 2, that's 1 and 2. So we want to have this. We then want to go up on top of each one of those spruce woods, each by 11. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And that will be the same for the other one as well. I'm not counting it out because I've just counted. Then we just have to mess these up a little bit, and by mess them up I mean meld them in to the actual build. So if we start from the bottom and on top of these first spruce woods, we want to do this. We want to do 3 oak wood planks, 1 spruce, 3 oak wood planks, 1 spruce, and come to the back and do the same thing. So that's 3 oak wood planks, 1 spruce, 3 oak wood planks, 1 spruce, and we have now melded them into the actual mansion. Now we want to take the spruce woods and we want to do upright diagonals from them, a lot of them. So this first spruce wood, this one at the front of the build, we want to do upright diagonals from it, and it wants to eventually connect all the way up, and it will eventually connect to here, ladies and gentlemen, to this point. So can you see? It will connect to here. So we want to do upright diagonals from this until it eventually connects to the building. So I'll show you in just a second what this is going to look like, but it is a very long process. We do want to do a lot of diagonals here, so many that I'd prefer not to count them. I think that it is just much easier and much better to simply connect it to the right hand side here. You can see where they have connected now very, very easily. Now we want to do the same thing on the back. So on the back, we want to do upright diagonals until it connects to a similar point there on the left-hand side of the build. So if we just want to just keep doing diagonals, eventually we will connect down. So it wants to connect down to the, well, I mean, you guys can see where it is. It wants to connect down to like the road that connects the front of the build to the back of the build. So it just wants to connect down to here, and you can see now how it connects. It just connects like that, and that will form a nice big giant triangular shape like that, which is going to form a really big chunk of the actual house. Now what we want to do is this. So this is not that fun. So we want to take the big tower part of the building, and where we have the 3 pairs of spruce wood that are poking out to the left of the tower building, we want to take those spruce woods and we want to extend them each to the left by 4. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we want to do the same thing with the back as well. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Plus, you can connect those 4th blocks together, front and back, like this. So just connect them together, front and back, just like that. That's perfect. Now, we want to use our oak wood planks, and we actually want to form a shape here. So first of all, where we have this bottom bottom balcony here, which is what all of these are, these rows of spruce wood, these are balconies. We want to take the bottom balcony and we want to do a layer of oak wood planks inside of the balcony. So we want to do a layer of oak wood planks here, just inside of the bottom of it. And this is going to form a room. And this room is going to allow us to travel between both areas of the house. However, all of the other parts of the balcony are not going to have such a thing. So we want to have something which should look like that. You can see that the house, how like underneath the balcony, it like comes inwards. It creates an additional layer of depth. Now, inside of this, inside the big triangular shapes, we actually want to have layers of oak wood planks just inside the spruce, but fitting inside of the triangle. We want to have layers of oak wood that just sit one row inside of this. So it just wants to fit one row inside, and it also doesn't want to interfere that much with the balcony. So I've done a little bit of it, but you can see where the oak wood is going to be, can't you? You can see where the oak wood is going to sit. And as a matter of fact, allow the oak wood planks to actually touch the balcony. So if you allow the oak wood planks to actually touch the balconies, like if you allow them to actually connect to and latch onto the spruce wood, then that will give something for the oak wood fence to grip onto as well. So we just want to have something which should look, I mean, you can see how it's looking now, right? You can see how it's kind of all coming together. It wants to look like that. So you can see that that is the front, right? So if we come to the back, we want a similar thing. So on the back, we literally we want a very, very similar thing here on the back, and it's just going to make it so that we now have rooms, and it's going to allow us to have rooms and rooms and rooms and rooms and more space. And it looks nice as well if it does tag onto the balcony, because it looks as though that the balconies are like actually connected to this big triangular portion of the house. So it does actually look quite nice with it all connected together. So we just want to have something which should look, we just got to do this little bit here, just got to come up diagonally. This upper balcony, this top one, you do just want to have like a little coating of oak wood, but it just wants to look like that. You see, it's very, very easy to see what sort of pattern you want to have. So that is what you want to have on the front and the back. And once you've done that, now we have to kind of like do a couple of things to this. So here's what we want to do first of all. First of all, we're going to do oak wood fence around the edge of the balconies. So oak wood fence around the edge of the balconies. This is very, very simply to stop anybody from falling off of the thing. Like that's literally just like the only reason. So just oak wood fence around all of the balconies like that. The top one, you have to go a little bit further with the fence. Same thing on the back, so we're going to add this to the back as well. Anywhere that anybody could fall off of anything, I always like to add it. Plus, it adds another colour to the spruce wood, which is always nice, like this. Like that. There we go. That looks fine. We also have to add an entrance to the front and the back. So the entrance is going to begin coming out from the left-hand side of the bottom balcony on the front, and we're just going to do, say, like a row of 3 spruce wood coming out to the left. That's 1, 2, 3, like that. And then we'll connect that down to the ground, and we will have a space big enough so that we can walk through the front, all the way to the back as well. And on the back, we want a similar deal. So 1, 2, 3 with the spruce wood coming out of the back balcony to the right, and that will create a space in which we can actually walk around like that. By the way, on the back of the house, there is ever so slightly more detail that we have to do. Not much, but there is more. On the back of the house, we want to take this row here that we have of spruce wood and oak wood planks on the corner. We want to take this row and we want to extend it outwards by, yeah, we'll have it extend it out by 1 row. So we want to take the row of spruce wood and oak wood planks and we want to extend it out by 1 row like that. We then want to do a row of, let's say, upside down dark oak wood stairs here, coming all the way over to the left. We'll connect over to the left, and then place like a spruce wood on top of the very left-hand block. Then have a row of oak wood fence here, going all the way around the top of this little bit of a balcony, and that will be just a place that you can kind of look off the back of the house. If you want to make a bigger area, say that you want to make like a big farm back here or something like that, then you could very easily just add another section onto the house. However, I wanted to keep the house kind of like skinny. I wanted to keep it very, very skinny, like not too much ground space used. So that's why I prefer to build up rather than outwards, but it kind of depends on how much room you have. That's a little bit individual, to be completely honest with you. So I'm just going to delete this, and like I said, if you wanted to, you could very easily add like a farm or something back here, or anything. You could add all sorts, but this is me. If we come to the front of the build again, we do also have to add a little something else. So using the white stained glass paint, we're going to dig into this area here on the left, right? This big chunk of wood, we want to make it a bit more interesting looking. So that means that we want to leave a gap of 2 on the left, and we want to dig into the bottom of the oak wood. And we kind of want to create kind of like just a little bit of a pattern in the woods. So I found that kind of like this jagged pattern, kind of like this, works. Just built into the wood, and if you just add a little bit of glass in here, it's purely for decorations. So whether you want to add another color, another material, I didn't really want to change the color of it at all. I quite like the way it looks now. There's something about this house that I think flows together quite nicely, and I think a lot of it is because it isn't over detailed. So something like that works very, very nicely on the left hand side of inside the wood, and a similar, very, very similar thing would also work here on the back as well, just making sure. So you know, just it's something in the woods, but it's not too much. Like it's just not too much. It could definitely, it's not overpowering. It just looks good, and it lets light in for a massive thing. And I don't know what else to say. It's just a nice little pattern. Add something like this into the house, and you probably won't regret it. And it does just add to the shape of the thing as well. Very, very easy to copy. I'm sure that you guys will do that no problem. Now, we may be missing a very, very obvious thing here. This thing needs a roof, right? So we want to stitch up the very left-hand side of the house using oak wood planks like this. So just stitch that up and use oak wood stairs, dark oak wood stairs more precisely. And we want to do layers and layers and layers of dark oak wood stairs coming up on top of the spruce wood. And we just want to have rows and rows and rows and rows of dark oak wood stairs coming all the way across the left hand side of the spruce woods, exactly how you would imagine a roof to do. It's built exactly like most other roofs, except it uses less materials. Actually, we're not doing a two-tone effect with this roof. We're just sticking with the one tone, just because I think it looks good. Like I said, this house isn't about detail. If you want detail, then I've done loads of other builds where like lots and lots more detail have been added, but part of the beauty of this house is the fact that it doesn't have a huge amount of detail built into it. It's simple, it looks good, and it doesn't require that much messing about. So I'm just going to build this all the way up to the top like this, and you will see that is what the roof kind of looks like. However, the roof does also want to overhang the front and the back of the build by one row, so I like to add this in afterwards. And we are also, in this case, going to add upside down dark oak wood stairs underneath the overhanging dark oak wood stairs, still maintaining the dark oak wood colour, however making the roof just a more interesting shape, and that's exactly what it does. It just makes it a much more interesting shape to look at. And it's just it keeps its simplicity. It's still simple, really easy. It doesn't really like catch your eye as much, but it does make a bit of a difference. It does make it look nicer. And if we were to come to the back and do the same thing, then well, that's what we have to do. So so if we just come to the back and we do the same thing, then that'll be that. And then, ladies and gentlemen, we do just have to add one little thing to the building, just one little thing, and that will be a staircase. So after this is done, we'll have to add a little staircase. I'll show you where that's going to be once I've just finished this. And then maybe we'll add a couple of bits of more detail about the place, but I don't think we will, because I don't think it needs it. But as you can see, the back roof's done now, and if we were to come to the front, then you can see that we are cooking with fire and gas mixed together in one. Now, once you've got that sorted out, this is what we're going to do next. So, on the balcony here, up front, in this corner, we need a little bit of a staircase. The function of this staircase is to take us from this part of the balcony, the big balcony, to the slightly smaller balcony. So the way you can do this is kind of like infinite, it's kind of up to you. But I would use a mixture of oak wood stairs and oak wood slabs. So maybe like an oak wood stair here, then maybe like an oak wood slab here, coming ever so slightly further up. Then maybe like an oak wood stair, stair, coming all the way up there. Then form a pattern using like dark oak wood slabs or dark oak wood planks or dark oak wood something at the very least, to just like do something next to those stairs like this. And I also, in the original, decided to use a little bit of glass here, just to kind of like, I don't know, just add something to the actual walkway to kind of like highlight it a little bit. It's not going very well with these panes, but just to highlight it a little bit, maybe even like a little bit of spruce wood fence underneath it as well, just to kind of, like I said, like I've just said loads of times, like highlight it a little bit. Also going to add a little bit of oak wood fence here up top, and maybe like a dark oak wood slab here to plank here to connect it to, and maybe here as well. And maybe I'll add a layer of glass on top of that as well. Maybe make that a little bit bigger. There we go. And now I'm just going to add some oak wood fence going kind of like around the top of the build. Kind of do want a little bit of oak wood fence here, there, and everywhere like this. I'm kind of just adding it around like that. And actually, maybe up at the top here, we'll have something a bit different. I do believe I did it a little bit different in the original. Like I placed some spruce wood here on top of the two front corners of the build here. And then I placed like another lip of like upside down dark oak wood stairs in front of those top two spruce woods, and then I'm just going to place slabs between them and white stained glass paint in between those, just to add a little bit more glass. And there we go, that's looking pretty good if I do say so myself. So now we have a walkway which we should be able to walk up. Oh no, we don't. Okay, so boom, we have to destroy that to actually get up it. And would we have had to if we didn't have, okay, I bet we could have got up it if we didn't have that. So if we place the glass back in there, because I do like a little bit more glass. Yeah, there we go. So if we just delete that slab, then we can actually get up that fine. Everything seems to connect together very, very nicely here. I don't think that there's too much more to do. The top of the tower here on the right, like I would use a mixture of like upside down dark oak wood, like if you do upside down dark oak wood stairs going around the inside of the top of the tower like this, and if you do like then upside or regular dark oak wood slabs, like connecting everything together to kind of like make the build flat, then I think that that would look quite good. So if we just like add a little bit of like dark oak wood slabbage here, just to kind of like make the tower flat like that, I think that looks quite good. And it also, yeah, that brings the tower together nicely. And there's your mansion, guys. I mean, the only things that I haven't shown you how to do are the stairs, and that's kind of on purpose. Oh, by the way, the entrance to the mansion, as you might have saw at the start of the video, is right in between here. Right at the base of the tower, on the front, right in between here. That's where it is. And you can see you've got a lot of rooms to deal with inside the mansion. Like, we have this big space here on the left. Like, I would add as many floors in as you possibly could. So, like, whatever they're made out of, it's completely up to you. But, like, everywhere that you have an entrance, a balcony, and what have you, there should be a floor. So, like, there should be a floor here, for instance. And I think that there should really be, like, a floor just every single level. Like everywhere you have a balcony, there should be a floor floor, kind of like taking you everywhere. And whether that means that you kind of want to have a set of ladders, or whether that means like if you wanted like a ladder system, like having a row of ladders run all the way up the very back of the center of the tower is a really easy and efficient way without taking up too much space to get from the top to the bottom of your mansion. And then you just have to build in like I said, like just loads and loads of floors. Like for every balcony, build a floor, and it'll connect together very naturally, and you'll see which parts connect to where. And I think that you'll find it very, very easy to add in all of the floors, and you'll kind of figure out yourself what sort of system you want to have. Now, why don't I take you back to the original, where I have added floors in and stuff, and you can see how it does connect together properly. But this is the tutorial portion of this complete, guys. That's pretty much it. So this is the original version of the mansion. Let me show you around the inside just a little bit, and you'll kind of get a grasp for what I have here. So for the tower, I do have floors everywhere that we have horizontal rows of spruce wood. So we have floors everywhere. I have horizontal rows of spruce wood. They're connected together using staircases. However, I don't think staircases is the best way to do it. I think that ladders going all the way up the back center of this tower would be better. I'd prefer ladders to stairs. Just my opinion. So you can see that we have floors going all the way up the tower every time we connect to a balcony. So we also have a floor. Obviously, we have balconies on the outside, but we also have a floor here in the left-hand part of the build. We have a floor here where we would walk out onto the balcony, and this is actually, I believe, the second floor of the building, which is, of course, connected to the first floor. This is the first floor here, which also has a connection to a balcony. So, like I said, everywhere that you would have a balcony, an entrance onto the outside, add a floor in. That's just my suggestion. But if we walk out from the balcony here, and we can actually walk up inside here, and this is the triangular part of the house. If we walk into here, you can see that we've got a lot of interior space. By the way, everywhere that we have a balcony here, you can see that it's kind of like sectioned off with fence. You could very, very easily turn these parts, you could very, very easily turn the balconies, you could extend them into the actual triangular portion of the house. So this part that looks like a big giant Dorito, you could add a little bit more interior space. But yeah, I think it's fairly obvious, like, where all of the entrances are, like where all of the floors are and stuff. Or at least I hope that it's obvious to you guys. I hope so, because that's kind of the point. Of course, eventually the idea is eventually you get up to the roof here. So you can get up to the roof. Well, actually, the only way up to the roof with this is like the staircases coming up the center tower. But you could easily add more and more. Like the balconies, you could have like a ladder that leads from the bottom of the balconies to the top of the balconies. But that's how it's supposed to be laid out, guys. That is where all of the floors are. That's where all of the floors have been designed to go. The rest is up to you. Like how you want to design the inside, completely up to you. The outside, also completely up to you. This is supposed to be kind of like an older-ish feeling building with a modern spin. So I would add farms. I'd add farms to the house. I'd add normal things like wells. I'd add farms. I'd add loads of trees and plant life and flowers and stuff. I'd add maybe some pig pens and like cow farms, and I don't know. I'd add a lot of stuff that you would expect to see with like a wooden survival house, except this is of course just ever so slightly next level from a wooden survival house. But I hope that you guys enjoyed the build nonetheless. If you did enjoy the build, guys, please do remember to slap that like button. I would really appreciate it. You could even say that I'd really like that if you would smack that like button. It helps me out a lot. It really helps the channel out. I'd just appreciate it. If you do like the video, please do consider subbing to the channel. If you subscribe, say hello. I like to say hello to my new subscribers. I try my best to say hello to everyone, although I don't always manage it. And also do click the little bell next to the subscription button, and that'll mean that you get every single one of my videos sent directly to your sub box. By the way, guys, do suggest down below what else you want to see next. I am open to suggestions. A lot of you guys suggest loads of stuff. That's why I've made this that's why you may have, oh, you guys will have seen this on the channel by now. You'll have seen like my little mini survival wooden house. You guys have been asking for some wooden houses, so I've decided to deliver. And I've been making stuff that's a little bit different than what you've hopefully seen before. I've been making some different looking builds, and that's why you get everything around you, because you guys have suggested it, you guys have requested it. If you do want to check out the channel, I would suggest with the card system in the description below, you'll find all sorts of stuff in there. Like, if you were to check out the cards in the description below, you would find playlists, and these playlists will show you how to make stuff like this. So this is my city suburbs. This has loads of houses in it, all different kinds of houses. It's not a regular suburbs. But if you wanted to, say, make more wooden houses, then you check out the wooden house playlist. If you wanted to make more suburban style houses, and we have all sorts of different ones, then you'd check out the suburban house playlist. And if you wanted more modern houses, then you would check out the modern house playlist. And inside of those playlists, we have all sorts of different types. So this is like the modern house playlist. This is a modern mansion. And this is out of the suburban house playlist. This is a suburban mansion. And we have all sorts of different types of all sorts of houses. So we build suburban houses that look very much alike, but we also build suburban houses that are very, very different from each other. And the same goes for modern. And this is just a very, 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 very small subsection, guys, that you can see here. This is a very small subsection of what you may find on the channel. I have built hundreds upon hundreds of houses. I've built loads of them. I'm sure that you'd find some that you like. If we were to delve into my city a little bit deeper, now, the city hasn't had that many changes recently, but that is actually going to change. I am making more city builds a little bit lately, but if you checked out the real world building playlist or the city builds playlist, you would find stuff like train stations and supermarkets, petrol stations, car washes. You'd find town houses, which are what those are. You would find like skyscrapers, which is what that is. That's the Planet Express. That's completely unrelated. But you'd find like pubs and post offices, and you'd find trampoline warehouses. Like you'd be surprised at what you might find in the playlist. And also, if you wanted to make a public park, let's say, then you could find all sorts of builds in that playlist. So like the public park playlist, you'd find all sorts of stuff. Down there you can see all sorts of different like sports related builds, like soccer pitches, football pitches, tennis courts, basketball courts, skate parks, all sorts of stuff. And we have even more houses here as well. And we even have more abstract builds like mini golf courses and public toilets and stuff like that, guys. And you can just see another array of houses. Basically what I'm telling you is to check out the channel.